Hey, good morning, world of the internet. Happy Thursday. Today is Therapy Thursday. I've not done one of these in a while. We were just in New Orleans last week for real estate seminar training and education. And as many of you know, I am super passionate about education for our clients to be well educated, so that they can make wise real estate decisions. And so it was a great 3 days of learning. And I guess I wanted to share some things from the learning with you to help educate you. New Orleans was great, fun town, a little too much fun. But anyway, the topic of today's talk is 83%, I learned, 83% of the average American's wealth at retirement is from home equity. Now, as I sat and pondered that, I first said, wow, that's amazing. But it really drove me to a deeper level of passion hi, Sue Halliday, a deeper level of passion to just really make sure folks are educated well when it comes to home ownership. Make sure they buy well, make sure they sell well, make sure they're well educated. If this truly is 83% of the average Americans' wealth, man, there's a lot of knowledge and experience that you need from that. So here's some things to think about. Did you know that in order to educate and train and mentor and consult people on the biggest investment of their lives and 83% of their wealth at retirement, you simply take a 40-hour class, which, by the way, the class teaches you how to pass a test, and you pass the test, and voila, you are a licensed realtor. So that's how you get your license, and your training is up to, maybe through default, hopefully not messing up too many clients. Hi, McKenna Brink. But what's interesting in the state of Michigan and many states, if you want to get your plumber's license to educate folks, you have to work full-time for 3 years under an apprentice to learn the trade, to make sure you know what you're doing in putting pipes together. And then after that 3 years is done, then you take a hands-on test and a written test. Hi, Tracy Vanderwall. Zach Bowl. You take a hands-on test and a written test, and if you pass both of those, then you can get your plumber's license and put pipes together in the state of Michigan. So it's interesting to me. It's like, wow, I think the state has something to learn in regards to that. So some other numbers and statistics to talk about. Tim Creech, what up, my brother? Bucket of you-know-what. Anyway, the average realtor sells 4 houses a year. Thought that was an interesting statistic, which means if that's the average, there's a whole lot of licensed realtors that aren't selling anything. I will tell you, in the last 4 years, we've over doubled the brand new people getting into business because, obviously the market's good again. But it's a journey of learning and education and mentorship to do it well, obviously. Another interesting statistic we learned last week was that 73% of folks choose and use the first real estate agent they come in contact with, that they talk to or connect with on the internet or whatever that looks like. So, hi, Pam Seagard. So it might be, hey, there's a realtor, you're a realtor, great, let's go. It's just, that's kind of interesting to me. So there's a couple of things. 78% of realtors that are new, get into business 5 years later, are out of the business because it is very difficult and tough to offer value, treat it like a business, make sure you're well educated, and help people make wise decisions for their 83% of their wealth at retirement. I keep going back to that because it blows my mind. It's out there. So anyway, here's some things we've seen. I had a neighbor a few years ago sell a house, and neighbors are fun. I love them. They're great people. Put a sign in the yard. I had no idea he was looking to sell, obviously. The agent that, had the sign in the yard, I had never heard of them before. I've been around 24 years, so I I think I know a few of the people. Long story short, I represented the buyer, sold the house because it was such a fabulous, good deal. And such a good deal that it was about 50 grand light on price. He could have easily gotten 50 grand more for it. Anyway, long story short, this was a brand new agent. I asked the seller at the closing table, hey, how did you connect with so-and-so? Well, he says to me, we go to church with him. We know his parents. He seemed like a nice guy. It's like, well, that's one way of choosing someone. But I didn't have the heart to tell him that, you know, he underpriced his house because it sold in a matter of a day and a half. This was 5 years ago before the market really heated up because of the price was so low. It's sad. And the sad part about it is he doesn't even know it. That's usually what hurts people is you don't know what you don't know, and that's what hurts you. And so interesting things we've seen. We've seen, you know, people choose an agent based upon a recommendation. I'm sure you've heard of ELP or Dave Ramsey. You know, love Dave, love his philosophy. I'm not talking bad, but you know, that's nothing more than a marketing campaign, right? Realtors and lenders write checks to Dave for Dave to be able to endorse them and say, hey, these are great people. Well, are they great people? How do they compare to other realtors? Do they know everything they need to know for your marketplace and in your expertise? I don't know. Those are great questions, right? But I don't know how you just endorse one realtor that's there. You know, we've seen, because of divorce, we've seen sellers get second opinions, which is kind of interesting to some folks, but you know, we're a huge advocate of that. Even when clients are referred to us, we say, hey, get 2 or 3 opinions, get well educated, make sure you understand and know what's going on, because it's so very important when, again, 83% of the average American's wealth is in home equity. Man, oh man, people lose thousands of dollars and they don't even know it. But we've seen a couple going through a divorce a couple of years ago that, you know, had used a realtor, that was their buddy, that was their realtor. And because it was a divorce this time, they decided to, well, the missus says, I want a second opinion. And so, long story short, they asked us for a second opinion. And if I fast forward, the township had their square foot inaccurate as far as what was finished and some other things. And long story short, we were able to show them and prove to them, you know, your home's worth $20,000 to $30,000 more than what your other opinion was from the other realtor. And so what was interesting is they, Charlotte Hawes, hi honey. What was interesting is we put the house for sale and ended up netting them $20,000 more in their pocket just because they got a second opinion, which they probably wouldn't have done if they weren't going through a divorce, if that makes sense, because they'd used the same realtor 3, 4, 5 times. So, you know, we've seen a lot of things. And I guess my desire for you and for all of us in the real estate world is, you know, a home is a great place to raise a family, make memories, have laughs, build relationships, eat good food, drink good beverages, all of that. But I am even more passionate about making sure everyone that is a homeowner is well educated, because last week I learned it's 83% of the average American's wealth, their home equity, their home is. And so I hope this has been helpful. You know, the moral of my story, my recommendation for any and all of you is, at a bare minimum, get 2 opinions. I would prefer 3, but at the very least, get at least a second opinion, ask some more questions, get well educated, make sure you know what you know before you make an impulsive, emotional decision. And I get it. You know, buying and selling a home is emotional. There's memories, there's excitement, there's passion. But please, please, please get educated. Make sure you're doing it well, for your future, for your family, for your retirement, for everybody. So again, this is Hey, Todd Potgetter. Stephen Corson, what up, brother? Hey, get educated and make sure you're getting more than one opinion when it comes to sell and buy, and make sure you know what the most you can know when you're investing in the largest purchase of your life that accounts for, I'm going to say it one more time, 83% of the average American's wealth is their home equity when they retire, because it's important. It's important to you, it's important to your family, it's important to your kids, it's important to your future as to whether or not you can retire and what it looks like. So until next time, Howie here with Boeve Properties. I am a broker, owner, storyteller, and real estate advisor. Have a great day, guys. Thanks for checking in.